Well, welcome to another episode of Be All You Can Be with Dr. B. I am Dr. Monique Baucham, Provost here at Brazosport College. I have some amazing guests with me today as we talk all things esports. I have Jacob Rey, our Director of Esports. Jacob, would you like to say hello?
Hello, thank you for having me today.
All right, and I also have Dr. Shayan Mirabi, who is our Dean of Business Technology and Online Programs.
Good morning, Monique. Glad to be here.
Good, good. Listen, we are going to have a fun-filled discussion about esports and what that means to Brazosport College. So I'm going to direct the first question to you, Jacob. Tell me, what is esports and what's it all about?
So esports is competitive gaming, and it's kind of just like an NFL team or an NBA type team. You still have to meet, you still have to go to have practice times. They're meeting multiple times a week for a couple hours each time, just like a normal team. We trade videos with other teams, just like an NFL team would. They have to do actual exercise and things. They have to keep up on their grades. There's forms that go out to their teachers and make sure that they're keeping up on that. And it's extremely important to us that GPA stays up high for these students because that's the most important part of them being here at the school in the first place. So very, very similar how college sports and things would run too.
What inspired the creation of the esports teams?
So for me, it was a few years ago when I was in China. I always used to introduce myself with oh, my degree isn't this, my experience isn't this, and all that. And what I found is students weren't particularly comfortable coming up with me. And then I started introducing myself as, well, I'm a gamer and I watch anime and all that. I'm a big nerd. And I left out the degrees and I left out the jobs. And I started getting students that would come forward and were actually willing to talk to me for the first time about different things. In fact, there was a student that said, this is the first time I've ever had a teacher I could just walk up to and just start talking to about games.
Wow.
And so that became kind of an inspiration for starting a club around the same thing, because then we can get students that are comfortable, come together, have fun, build a community and all that. And there was a group of students within that club that wanted to do more. They really wanted to go further with this, and they started the first esports teams here. It was in League of Legends and Overwatch back then. And they became more serious over time, and obviously support started building over the college. IT had looked into this in the past and things, and there's a lot of support from Dr. Solis in building this up, and that kind of was the beginning of the esports teams. And I could have never dreamed that we'd get to the point where we have now, where we have 7 esports teams, and that the gaming clubs is over 175 members. A lot of growth.
My first introduction to this was in October of 2024 when you all had a gaming event here on campus, and it was Halloween themed. I remember we could not get into the room. We had invited the regents, Dr. Solis, myself, Jeff Dietrich, all the deans were invited to be a part of this gaming event. And so it was interesting because we couldn't get in the room because there were so many students there. And then we got a chance to look around and see some things, and we saw students online. So the gaming club has not only engaged students that are here in person, it has also been a very unique experience to engage our online students. So tell me a little bit about that. How is that still working?
So we use Discord, where basically the students already exist. So we came to them. We didn't, come up with our own thing and try to get them to come to us. And that makes a huge difference. There's a comfort level that the students are already at. So our gaming club meetings would stream right over the Discord. We have servers like for Minecraft, Vintage Story, and other games that you can access outside of club hours. You can go on in there and play there whenever you want. And our esports teams run like that too. We run some of the practices virtually. In fact, we have a student on our esports teams that's in Oklahoma that plans on moving to Texas here next year. So he joined our esports team, does everything virtually. But that being said, our online-only students, I see them at the clubs.
Wow.
So they don't have to be here, but they choose to come out to the clubs. They choose to come out and be part of the esports teams. And we're engaging those students through the online space, but they come in person too.
Listen, that is a very unique experience to have both in person as well as online students, and it's growing. That's real. I think that's one of the most amazing things about this. And you've created a sense of belonging for a group of students that may not have always felt as connected
Mhm.
to the college. Talk about that.
So there's almost like this demographic that feels kind of left out of higher ed that we've kind of discovered through here. So we've built a home for current students, but when we started going to events out there and we started reaching out and we started talking to all the different high schools and things, more and more we were running into parents that you tell about esports, and you would think that they'd be the ones to be, oh, it's just gaming. We do They're like, why would we want them to go into there? They already understand that there's jobs and the
Mhm.
careers out there in it, and then they get
Mm,
excited. They're like,
yes.
this could be what brings my kid back to school. They had no interest in coming to college, but you show them the esports lab, or you tell them about the opportunities and the careers that they can get related to gaming, and it ignites something again that's like been missing for them, and they're excited to come to school and they're passionate about what they're coming back to. So it's bringing that whole group back, and it's very exciting to see it.
That's wonderful. Now, of course, before I shift over to Cheyenne, I've got to ask this question because we need bragging rights. Okay. So tell us some of the teams that we have already beat and who we're looking to go up against next.
So it's like, if you had told me last year that we would be at this level already with our esports teams, I wouldn't have believed it, and the students wouldn't have believed it either. Last year, we lost basically everything. It was our
Mm,
first time being in any kind of competitive level esports, but this time we beat Sacramento State in
wow.
Mario Kart. 2 days ago, we beat St. Louis Medical School in Overwatch, and that is in the Unified League, which is basically playing Division One.
Mm,
It's that was our first big win. In fact, some of the students, their eyes were watering, they were screaming and happy, like they couldn't believe that, they had done it, and they did. And it's their teamwork, it's their perseverance, it's their drive to just do better that's doing it. And it's so impressive to see them going through and taking on these large schools and actually winning.
well, we hope that you will come back and tell us more about the schools that we are beating. And as you hear it here, first, we have already beat, what is that? California's Sacramento State.
Yep.
And then we just had another major win 2 days ago. So listen, guys, we need to make sure we show up and show out for our esports teams because it's one of the it's actually the currently the only athletic program that we have here at Brazosport College.
Yeah.
We actually have some intramural activities, but this is our only NJCAA accredited athletic activity here on campus. Am I right about that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to show up. We need to show out. We need to be
Yes.
excited. We might need to come up with our own cheer for esports. Okay. And guess what? And then it just flashes across the screen. No longer the traditional cheerleaders with the pom poms. It just flashes
Right.
across the screen and then they're able to see it. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about the Board of Regents night for their gaming.
Yes.
All right, Cheyenne, let's talk a little bit about the esports academic program.
Okay.
Okay. What does that entail?
Well, Jacob mentioned that there is a demographic, a group of students, whether they're in our immediate community of service or they're online, who feel disengaged with academic. They just can't find the right pathway.
Mhm.
So, although being part of the teams teaches them all the techniques, a certain even mannerism, but they still need to formalize their education because the education comprises of not only technical but also some long life learning durable skills such as communication, teamwork, critical thinking, and things like that.
Mhm.
Those are the traits that have been interwoven through all the different courses that comprises or associate of applied science in eSport. So we are currently waiting for Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board approval. We have received their acknowledgement. It is now just really a matter of time. So our target launch date is fall 2026.
So tell me some of the names of the courses.
Okay. Some of the courses, there is an introduction to e-sport. We got courses in business. We got courses in marketing. There are courses in economics. So I'm sure it is important to say that Jacob developed this. So that was a part of his vision.
Hmm.
So I'm sure you can add additional courses, but the way the courses are set up, it walks them through the entire knowledge base in order for them to be able to manage e-sport, manage activities, whether it's marketing or it's tournament, and so on.
Okay. So, some of the specific names of the courses, we want to make sure that our future students, I think they understand the concept of critical thinking and they understand business. But what are some of the names of the courses? Because we want to make sure that they are connecting with those course titles and
Mhm.
course descriptions first.
Yeah, we have esports management that is going to dive into obviously the management and
Mhm.
business aspects and
Hmm.
the industry of esports. We have a live streaming and casting course that's going to have you go through even creating professional casts as team members. We have a social media and gaming community management course. This also has hands-on aspect too. I run a gaming and esports charity on the side, and we're partnering directly with them so that students can come in and actually help manage a gaming community and help run social media accounts for that charity. So again, hands-on experience. And then we have an esports event planning course where the capstone project is running a convention. So you're actually going to get full hands-on aspects of working with partners of the college, being there at an event and running a live event in person, working with local high schools and other colleges to actually run a tournament. So it's the full rounded picture. You have the business, the technical, and all the hands-on experience that's going to prepare you for the esports industry and even beyond.
Dr. B, may I add to that
Sure.
something that some of the specific courses that Jacob mentioned, it's important to know those are literally some of the positions that you find out there in the industry.
Hmm.
He talked about broadcasters, marketeers, and there is a lot also that goes on behind the scene. So when I said the set of courses really walks them through the entire journey of what it is to become an e-sport specialist,
Hmm.
those are some of the things that we do, including production. They actually learn those, but they also formalize it in terms of their education. Now they have an AAS degree to show that confirms, yes, they know what they do.
And you get to choose and actually customize your degree through a specialization too.
That's
So
wonderful.
you can do game publication, game design, accounting and finance too, human resources. So you can kind of choose the path that you end up going down.
And that transitions well to the next question I was about to ask. Jobs, jobs, jobs. That is one of the big things we are hearing right now, that we have graduates that are finishing college and not able to secure a job in their
Mhm.
fields. But it sounds like that esports actually offers a number of different options, not just the
Yes,
gaming part of it, but you
yes.
can also do a number of things in terms of running an esports charity. You can also do production, which is behind the scenes. You can do so many different aspects of it. Tell me a little bit about what it will take to actually put on our convention that we will have here in March.
So the convention is a very, very heavy lift. So you have to reach out with different partners and because this is the first one that's coming up, it was building brand new partnerships across
Okay.
the board with different colleges and universities. And so next year when the students take over, we'll have some of those established ones. So they're going to get the experience of working with established partners and things. And then they're also going to be reaching out to try to find new ones.
Okay.
So there'll be a comfort level and there'll be a kind of a guide that'll pull them through. But it's still going to be a lot of work for them. And then they have to actually plan out how the event's going to go. So you have to map out the floor plan. You have to get a schedule for what time the speaker's going to go. So, like for our first Legends Fest here coming up, we have 16 different speakers that are going to be in there. So you have to build the schedule and make sure that it works around all those different speakers and that they don't collide with one another. Then we have to worry about the networking. We'll have a lot of help from like IT and such, but they're gonna be there helping put the computers up and stuff on the day in the setups before the event. So they'll get the whole part of it, everything from the marketing So learning how we work with partners in different departments and things to do the networking, set up computers.
That's right, because you also get the planning, the team management, the
Yeah.
coaching. So it really opens, a slew of various opportunities. One of the things that you notice when you're going to talk about this on our Regents Night or any other event is that as these games are going on,
Hmm.
uh, there is a statistical information that the team has to capture in order to analyze for the sake of improving or filling the voids. So, in terms of what job or careers are available, a data analyst would be, they may not relate that to sport, but that's what it is. So we keep, I mean, you could go as far as saying there are software developers that
Hmm.
ties into the gaming environment.
So when we look at it, okay, because one of the things parents want to know before they send their child to school, and we've got high school teams that are, very vested, we would be able to come before parents and tell them, hey, here are the different opportunities that are available with an esports degree. It's more than just the gaming aspect of it,
Yes.
but you have accounting and finance, you have marketing, you have production, you have data analytics, you have IT. All of these different aspects are play a critical role in esports. Now, tell me a little bit about the industry growth. I know that this is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the estimates is around 180 to 200 billion dollars now.
Wow.
It's way up there, and we're seeing around 180% to 200% year over year job growth. Uh, it's slowed down a little bit as of lately, but we're still seeing substantial growth, and it's faster than the regular gaming industry too. Which the gaming industry, if you've ever looked into it, if you add up, the second, third, and fourth
Mm.
numbers for the entertainment industry, they don't add up to gaming still. Gaming is absolutely massive. And the United States is on its way to be the number one in the world. Right now, it's China. It's only a matter of a few years, and the U.S. will pass China up.
180 to 200 billion-dollar industry. So let me ask you this. You know how industries go through a tremendous growth phase,
Mhm.
and then there is a downward turn. Do you think that the esports industry will be sustainable?
I do. So we've seen kind of like a little boom bust cycle that's come through over the past few years. You've had a lot of companies rise up and then they've disappeared from people's memories already. And that's normal for new industries that come through. But now we're starting to see the companies rise up. We're starting to see association and groups that are laying the rules for the game, so to speak. So like NJCAA has raised up as one of the leaders out there in the esports industry. NACE is another one that's right up. We have Unified. So we have these big organizations in the college and space that's taking over. But now you have big companies too
Mm.
that are rising up. Like Microsoft has been taking over and starting to build things, and you have Activision and things. So there's so much more to come in esports. It's exciting to see the direction that they go and what effect artificial intelligence is going to have.
Uh, to add to what Jacob said, there is one important aspect of this, and Jacob alluded to this, and I think you did as well, and that is that we're filling a gap. There are millions of uh, individuals who cannot be part of a traditional sport because of the demanding extreme physiques that they
Mhm.
have to have.
Mhm.
And because of that, now this large group, which especially between ages of 18 to 24,
Mhm.
this is a massive number of people who are finding uh, e-sport as a gateway into a career, but also into higher education.
Absolutely. One of the things that we have been discussing a lot recently are the number of opportunity youth that are here in Brazoria County. So we have roughly about 5,000 opportunity youth. These are individuals between the ages of 16 and 24 that are not in school and they're also not working. Do you think this will be a way to get them to come back to invest in higher education?
Yes, indeed. And there is data out there. There is data. These are the group of students who are extremely well in gaming. but that's the only channel they have. They haven't found a pathway or a channel or a conduit to, expand on that, to make it a career. Our e-sport program through our AAS and through our club under the leadership of Jacob has really actually provided that pathway for them. That's why there is, you ask about sustainment, absolutely, because this is a undiscovered country. There is tons and tons of opportunity.
Absolutely. So listen, I want to also kind of take a detour here to talk about our Board of Regents. Our Board of Regents, it was so funny. We had our Board of Regents workshop a few weeks ago. And one of the activities we had, of course, was that they came in and they had an experience in the gaming arena. It was amazing. And I got a chance to play a game. So individuals such as myself who have absolutely no gaming skills, we were able to come in about 5 minutes, go through a quick training and get ready and get going. We had such an amazing time. And the Board of Regents had such an amazing time that they want their own Board of Regents game night.
There you go.
That is going to be hilarious. Okay. One of our regents, one of our newer regents, Regent Baucham, he mentioned that he had bragging rights because he actually came in first. And so, I think there's a little competition there because he's got the bragging rights right now. And let's see if he will actually be dethroned by one of the other regents. Tell me a little bit about what that night might look like.
So when we had the board of regents here the first time, I handed this basically over to the students because that's what it's all about, is giving
Yeah.
students a chance to run things and be a part of everything. And they did an incredible job, as we heard from the response. So of course, I'm giving it right back to the students to be able to do it. But they are excited to run it. We have a couple of different individuals that are going to be leading it this time, so that we can trade off who's getting the practice and leadership on our teams. But I'm sure we'll have some students stationed with each one of them this time to make sure that they get more pointers, because now they've played the game once. Now we can start moving on to some other things to teach them to get make them even more competitive, so they have a chance
Yes,
to
indeed.
dethrone that.
I've got a feeling this is going to be part of our Board of Regents workshops every year now moving forward, because it was so enjoyable and it was so engaging. So what that showed me is that gaming and esports are engaging for a number of people regardless of age.
Indeed.
It really is, and it just seems it's fun, and it does build your skill level, and it ensures that you employ critical thinking, that you employ communication, especially if you're working with someone on a team that's sitting right next to you.
Mm.
So there were a lot of skills just in that brief time that I was able to see. I was like, yeah, they are really building skills. In a degree that we haven't really even considered yet. So I think that, as you mentioned, the data analysis, those individuals that will look at all of the respective pieces of esports will actually be able to see that the data is trending where we are increasing the skill level of so many people. The GPA for the gaming club has increased to
So for the esports team specifically, last year it was at about a 2.7, and now it is raised to a 3.28, and that really comes from the hard work of the students.
And commitment.
And
I think they're committed and they understand that in order to continue to be part of that wonderful team, because that's home for them, that's their contribution, that's their belonging, that's the community. And I know I receive email from eSport Club, uh, Jacob and his lieutenants, about how well students are doing to make sure they can intervene with all the resources that we have available on campus. That is really a huge success story.
That's wonderful. That is something that's another bragging right that we have. Not only are we beating teams, but we are also beating the odds because we are increasing our GPA on a consistent basis. That's additional data that
Yes.
we think would be relevant here. So if you're out there and you're trying to find yourself and you think this may be of interest to you, remember to contact us. So in our last few minutes together, I want to kind of clarify a few things. One, we mentioned a term entitled NJCAA. Now, that is the National Junior College Athletic Association.
Yes.
Okay. What does that mean for BC?
So it's visibility. It's a chance for the students to compete against so many other different schools. It's a chance for the community to get involved, to root for their BC teams. It's a test in a way of our program against so many other programs. And we did some interviews with our students on what they felt like what NJC was and what it was going. And there was sheer excitement
Hmm.
about being part of the competition and being part of something that just felt bigger, bigger.
Yes.
And so far we've done well. Every single one of our teams has at least clocked one win with their NJC debut. So we're looking good.
That's wonderful.
That is awesome.
So tell us about the convention that's coming next month.
So Legends Fest is March 20th and 21st. It's right here at Brazosport College at the Dow Academic Center. It is an incredible esports gaming and tabletop convention. It's a way to come and root for your local high schools. So Angleton, Brazoswood, Brazosport, they're going to be there. They're going to be competing against schools from up
Mhm.
in Houston, from all over the place. It's going to be a huge event on March 20th. On March 21st, you get to come and root for Brazosport College as we take on 8 other colleges and
Oh, wow.
universities, and that may tick
Wow.
up even further. The interest was a lot bigger than I was expecting. I was only expecting about 4, and we already have teams that are looking to try to come next year. So very
Yes.
cool to see that. We have a game jam being run by Houston Game Dev, where you get to come out and actually develop a game on site and compete against other game developers on March 21st. We have a
Mhm.
Magic the Gathering tournament on the 20th. We have a one-page rules on the 21st. We have 17 educational seminars from 16 different speakers. There's so many ways for you to come and be involved, learn about the industry, talk about with others in the industry. There's going to be an exhibitor floor there too. You'll be able to talk to charities in the gaming industry, local esports companies from both the Houston area as well as down here, universities, including Northwood University, will be down here from Michigan. So a lot of great opportunities. We hope to
Yes.
see you all out there.
Well, we want to thank our guests today, both Jacob Rey and Dr. Shayan Mirabi.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
all so much for coming and talking about all things esports. Not only do we have an esports team, we have 7 esports teams.
Yes.
We are launching our esports academic program in the fall, along
Yes.
with other exciting programs. And we have a convention, our very first Legends Fest, March 20th and 21st. There will be high school teams, and then BC will be going up against 8 colleges. So we need the support. Come out and learn more about esports, see all of the dynamics, and most importantly, all of the things everything that goes into making an esports convention extremely successful. You are so well on your way. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you again for being a part of another episode of Be All You Can Be with Dr. B. I am Dr. Monique Baucham. And remember to have an amazing day.